Hey, what's going on everyone? BouseFeenux here with another episode of the Follow-Up, except this time I think I'm going to go with a bit of a different approach here. I've been reading your guys' comments over the past few weeks on my content, and a lot of you are hoping that I wouldn't just play a game once, do a short review on it, and then that would be that. Now, I've already been doing this with some of the multiplayer games I've done reviews on, but I haven't really come back to any of the single-player games I've covered. I wanted to change that today and talk to you guys some more about Everspace, which, if you haven't seen my overview video on it yet, I definitely watched that one before watching this one. Anyway, I just wanted to put this video together for you guys to share some of my thoughts on this game. Let's go ahead and hop in. Alrighty, since I put out the overview of this game, which again is called Everspace, I've put about 16 or so hours into it, and I feel like that's plenty enough time to get a revised opinion about something. Anyway, I can definitely tell you that my original impressions of this game definitely still hold. This is a fantastic title so far. A lot of the times I'll play Everspace when I'm sitting in a Discord call or just want to kill a little bit of time. It's really easy to pick this game up and put it back down because each time you get to a new area, it more or less saves your game so you can always come back to a run. Being a roguelike, you pretty much only have to start your game over when you die. As far as bugs and performance go, I haven't really had any issues with this game. I think I've maybe had one crash to desktop and the occasional weird audio pop in my 16 hours of playtime, which for an early access game is pretty phenomenal. Everspace does use the Unreal 4 engine, which looks absolutely gorgeous on my GTX 1070 with everything maxed out. The big issue with UE4 games I've seen, though, is there's always some sort of super long loading time when starting the game, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal when you get used to it. Taking a look at the actual gameplay itself, I can honestly say it's extremely enjoyable. Firstly, the controls for keyboard and mouse are fantastic. Everything is super responsive, and controlling your ship feels awesome after you get used to the 6 degrees of freedom style of controls. As Rockfish, the game's developer, says on the Everspace website, the game was more or less developed to have more of an arcade feel, which I feel like they've definitely achieved. Plus, the ability to play in first or third person is pretty neat as well. Secondly, the vast majority of the gameplay focuses on flying around and scavenging or fighting in beautiful cosmic environments that are randomly generated each time you play. It's hard to go wrong with that, but there are some little details that make it all the more satisfying. For starters, the particle effects and physics in this game are top-notch. The different weapons sometimes feel like a little light show, and blowing things up in space is amazing. It's really cool to take down a ship or blow up a fuel canister, have it explode right next to you, and your ship rocks from the shockwave. On top of that, when you're being attacked, your ship takes visible damage. You can see the little fires and scorched components, and if you're in first person, you'll be able to see things like your windshield being damaged and various instruments sparking and fizzling in your cockpit. Lastly, on our gameplay topic, there's a massive variety of weapons, consumables, and equipment to use, and as the game is being updated, more things are being added to play around with. I mean, it's to the point now where I still find new weapons and such, even after 16 hours of playtime. As for my final thoughts, as the game stands right now, overall, I'm really enjoying this title. I can't wait to see what it becomes when it gets out of early access, and if it ever does, I'll make sure to come back and cover it again. I know so far, one of the biggest things besides more ships, items, and other stuff is that they're planning on adding a lot more of a story to this game with cutscenes and the whole 9 yards, which is interesting because, aside from Binding of Isaac, roguelikes don't really have much in the way of story, so it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds. But that's gonna do it for me today, folks, as we take a follow-up look at Everspace, the roguelike space shooter from Rockfish Games. I'm really interested to hear what you guys think of this type of video, where I go back on some of the single-player games I've overviewed for you. Hopefully it gives my channel a little bit more continuity and it's enjoyable for you all to watch. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like down below because it helps me out a ton, and if you're new here, consider subscribing so I can make enough money to buy this company and finish this damn game because I want it now. Until next time though, I'm BouseFeenux, I'll see you at the next video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.